went through the pandemic and everyone was going through, especially hotels during the pandemic, and I transitioned to the overnight. It's something like I kind of told myself I would never do, but like I went that direction. And in that time, all that time that I had, that's when I found Decentraland, and I came to learn more about myself. But I'm mainly just I'm just an open-minded, like curious learner, just always trying to think about like what's coming and looking at what opportunities are in the future that are on their way. And I found the metaverse, and Decentraland was that call.
Thank you, Alpha. Thank you. Passing it on over to Gold Guy.
Hey everyone, Gold Guy. Been in here since December, and basically every December I'll go out there and sharpen or obtain new skills and explore new things, because it's kind of like one of my down months. And just so happens, one of my business partners say, hey, let's branch out and go explore new social media opportunities. And Facebook changed their name to Meta, and we said, okay, well, let's check out Sandbox. Well, they required some financial capital to just get an alpha pass to go to Sandbox. I said, oh, well, there's another one called Decentraland. I'm going to go explore this. And lo and behold, as soon as I logged in and figured out, how to transfer my financial proceeds over through MetaMask and get it into the game, I started purchasing and started meeting in this kind of like when I guess a lot of newcomers came on. I guess this is like the second wave, I guess we want to call us. And I said, cool, like this is the possibilities are endless. And what really got me hooked was the initial tour that I got taken on, and it just kind of gave me inspiration and seeing the possibilities of not what Decentraland is today, but with the right leadership, what can be in the future. So, and I seen all my kids were playing Roblox, Minecraft, and that's all they do is jump on their computers after school, go in there, hang out with their friends, and chill out on Discord. And I just seen the trends, what's going on there, and I was like, okay, where they're going to evolve into, because this is kind of like what they want to do now, and they're going to try to adapt that to where, in let's just say next 5-10 years with themselves. And I feel like they already have it kind of figured out what a community should feel like and should be. And I feel like, okay, now I can get ahead of that and help shape a decentralized community, so my kids can then eventually make the transition. So lo and behold, a year later, we're sitting right here. A lot of cool friends and people met along the way, and learned a lot of new skills. I don't get an opportunity to talk to normal people, I would say, because my industry, I've been in the professional finance space for the last decade, and we don't get to have these type of relationships or interaction. Really, everything's strictly about business. So that's my high level story of myself.
Thank you, Gold Guy. And Mariana?
Yeah, let's see, where do I start? So, been in, I guess, blockchain since like 2017 through work. I first discovered the space, is working as like a work project, but then entered into Decentraland, I guess a few years later. Or like I heard about Decentraland last year in December. I was just scrolling my For You page on TikTok, and I stumbled across it because I think back then I was like I had heard about like Earth 2.io and virtual lands. I'm like, oh, okay, so I was like looking up all the different kinds of virtual lands. So once I heard about Decentraland being a virtual land, I'm like, okay, I gotta go check it out. And been in since last December. But in terms of background from me, I come from a finance background. I've been in accounting for about 7 years now. So IRL, I do all that. And then also it's funny because like when I first came into Decentraland, I'm like, it's gonna be like a quiet gamer. I'm gonna go hit some Wonder Mine rocks. Like no one's gonna know who I am, right? And then somehow I turned into a streamer. I was streaming about 2 weeks after I started Decentraland. So actually about a year from now, I think I had just did like my first few streams. So yeah, I started off in Decentraland with the Rich Homie Gang, so shout out to the Rich Homie Gang. That was like the beginning of Decentraland for me. Hanging out with the crew, with like Rich, Gary, Petrodamus. Good times. We were like raiding Rastan's place all the time.
You just brought me way back, because like that's when I met you.
Oh my god, Rustan parties were epic.
Yes.
Speaking of Rustan, look at him just floating casually right next to me. He's like, yeah, I used to
True
throw
angel.
parties. Like, I don't do for some reason I haven't thrown one in a while, but
Yeah, we would literally just like unannounced like show up like like no, I think Rastan needs to get like a no trespassing sign after that.
Well,
I feel like
yeah.
Casa Rusan was like Casa DCL. Like we could just go there and have after parties, and he was just cool with it. He'd party with us.
he had
Right.
he had the dirtiest clear pool I've ever been in.
The things Sinful and Art did in that water.
Yes, we used to
We can't
pee
talk
in the
about-
pool all the time.
I
I just
Oh my
talked about it. So, Alpha, passing it back to you with your introduction. You know, you mentioned that like you always were looking for what's next. So, you were looking forward, and you had found Decentraland. Do you still feel as strongly about Decentraland as you did, like now, as you did back when you found out about it in 2020?
I think I'm a little seasoned, to be completely transparent. I feel like I'm now looking, because of Decentraland being now the foundation of all of my knowledge within Web3, I'm now looking at Decentraland as like the perfect launch pad that pointed me to like what I should be focusing on and what like I should be learning in this space and what I should get ready to like what I should get ready to expect in this new industry. And I feel like that's how we should kind of look at Decentraland as. We should look at it as a home, but also a platform that we can really study and like take things from and learn and then apply to, you know, future projects and just skill up. Like that's one thing I'm really looking forward to this year, is just like reflecting, but also reprioritizing like what's really important and keeping the main thing, and then just skilling up so I can just keep like, you know, progressing throughout the year. Because last year, I feel like last year was just embracing all the experience. I had no expectations of what the metaverse is, what Web3 is. I just, you know, open arms, take it all in, take everyone in, meet everyone. But I feel like now I have a grasp of what I really want to become in this space, or really want to do in this space, that I have more of a direction. And I feel like Decentraland has given me the foundation to like construct that vision. But I'm no longer just focused on being in Decentraland. I'm now focused on touching spatial, Monoverse, touching other worlds, looking at these more as platforms, and not being committed to just a platform, but like being committed to growing a community that like travels through these platforms.
Dude, that was beautiful. And I mean, you hit it spot on. Like I mean, I was right there with you in the early days. We were on our WAGME shit, you know? We were and to like kind of just grind out the space, stay here through the thick and thin, and continue to learn and expand our knowledge, and even like just like not even like, you know, take that knowledge and that's it, but we also have been, you know, open-minded enough to see what's out there.
Yeah, because I feel like if you like, as much as I love Decentraland, if I'm only in Decentraland, I'm gonna miss all like the other like amazing projects and like beautiful things that's actually happening in this Web3 space as a whole. So I'm just looking at like, to stay the main focus is stay the lane, which is, you know, Decentraland of course is where I was born. But if I only stay in here, I'm gonna be inside of a prison rather than actually studying Web3, learning what these contracts actually mean, and what did these NFTs really mean. how like I need to learn deeper, and if I'm just in Decentraland, I feel like we're gonna plateau. We have to learn from these other worlds so we can apply it to our own, because this world is like a ever moving, it's like it's a forever going project. We can add on to it, we can remove. So we have to jump into these other worlds and see what they are really doing good at, extract that and apply it to our world.
Yep,
and make this like one of the best, you know, platforms inside the entire metaverse.
Yep. I mean, definitely I can say that like that's the mindset to have, because like for example, some individuals that I can think off the top of my head that like kind of like do this would be like Hi Cece from Spatial. Like, you know, she goes out there, she checks out the other metaverses, and you know, she's reporting back like, yo, we want this shit, we want that, how come they have that and we don't have it, so like what the fuck is
yeah, she's actually a perfect example. And like that's what I really love, is like finding people like that, because then you lock arms with them, and right there Decentraland and Spatial are now locked in. We don't need no official grand opening to say that. We already know, like, you know.
Exactly. So let's see, I'm gonna pass it on over to Gold Guy. Gold Guy, so you had mentioned that you kind of like came into the industry in a way kind of like just exploring. You had heard about Metaverse, you heard about Sandbox, and then you heard about Decentraland, and just, you know, your life just took you the Decentraland route. What made you stick around for so long?
For me personally, it wasn't necessarily about the platform. Like I said, I kind of seen a vision where it could potentially be with the right type of people around it, and you know, I believe in like community and leadership, and you know, to make a strong community, you got to have strong, will-minded leaders, right? And I think we're at that time where we're just gaining momentum, like saying, all right, we're actually organizing, we're getting together, we're helping each other, we're doing co-collaborations. It was just a beautiful thing, and witnessing and seeing people coming in with no coding experience, no fashion experience, no real anything, Web3, and actually sharpening them skills and doing something. And that's where I found it was important for me to stick around and helping people that needed help around me, and build a team around that. And it was just, honestly, it was really about chemistry, you know. Other than that, it's kind of, you know, we do participate in Decentraland's metaverse, but let's just be honest with each other for once. We're all on Discord, we're all on Twitter, we're all on here, you know. I hope one day, you know, we can all just be on, you know, in this case, you know, Decentraland's, you know, communications channels. But we're a community, and like we have like, we're all individually passionate about, you know, Web3 and what it potentially can be. And this takes me back to the AOL days, when AOL chat was kind of a thing, and then it evolved into MySpace, and then also Facebook. Similar feel.
Totally. Fuck, just had a total blank out.
It's actually funny. I'll add on to what Gold Guy said about, you know, having like a platform with everything. I was on a Twitter space actually last night at like 3 a.m.
Are you trying to hijack my voice?
Yes. But like someone had mentioned that. Someone had mentioned that, like, around the concept of there not being a metaverse or platform where you can just, it's like a one-stop shop, right? So I forgot, it was so late at night, but that was pretty much like the topic. Like, yeah, there's really no platform that you can do everything in one. Like, imagine, actually, and I remember what we were talking about. We were talking about how like Twitter, and the Gold Guy, we always talk about this, where right now Twitter technically owns everything, and no one on Twitter gets monetized for the content that they make on Twitter, right? So in this Twitter space, they were talking about like, imagine there being like a complete Web3 platform where you can, host your audio spaces, get paid for your, posts as like NFTs. So I think even like Decentraland came up, and then someone mentioned how there's really no platforms that can do all of it. So definitely I think people are starting to notice and acknowledge this issue of all of our content is just really just it's just helping Twitter grow, but that no one's getting monetized for it.
Our content is being rented.
Oh no.
We are the products. Even though like we do a really good job making sure our pictures are right, making sure our tags are right, making sure we're sticking within the guidelines of SEO. It's and we talk about marketing and getting the word out there. Like everyone who participates in Decentraland's metaverse, we're constantly posting about our experiences. Well, then it gets reposted or liked by the right person. They may then come check it out, right? So it's kind of like a snowball effect, right? We are a community. We're a strong community in this Web3 that we're all really passionate about. Now, I'm ready to really take off in Web3 and see what other possibilities are. I kind of, spent the last year figuring out what Decentraland's about, from creating wearables to hosting parties to bringing clients in the world, to then participate into the DAO and seeing what the bureaucrats are doing over there, and how all that's being articulated and and regurgitated out to whatever. And I digress.
I mean, just to go back to the one platform thing, like definitely that has been something that you have been saying for a while, like just dropping these gems in either Twitter, like saying, can you imagine a Decentraland where you wouldn't need another platform, where you could do it all in one, kind of, and that. And in all honesty, that should be kind of a route to kind of look towards.
The moment people start finding more ways to make money here, which that would also like accomplish, like that'd be a solution. More people are gonna start rushing in here. They're gonna start rushing in here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We need other revenue sources to stimulate the community's efforts. And we could just create the social platform and open up the APIs to then push and pull data from our social platform to other Web 2. So
yep. And so I just realized that we have gone into like a deep conversation, and we haven't even gone into like Beavers yet.
We've gotten to a deep conversation.
Yes.
That's definitely a lot.
These are our
reel us
normal
back in.
conversations,
Yes, but the people don't know this.
The OG spaces, 8 hours.
8 hours. Those were like the OG bonfire space, correct? What was the longest one that you guys have ever hosted?
16 hours in a Discord.
Yeah, I was gonna say, before we went public, we used to do like just private like Discord calls, and one of the early Discord calls went for like 16 hours. Yeah.
What really inspired us was the conversations we were all having at Wish Your Vodka, when we were just all sitting there in game talking in chat, like over in world, right? And we're just talking. I'm just like, wow, like this is what I want to do when I'm here. Okay, who else is with me? And then out of everyone, like Alpha showed up, and then
it's like, I'm with you.
Yeah, we had DCL Matt and Dogman, and then and then we all just kind of started banding together at the Frosties. So that's kind of how it evolved from Business Weekly to then us evolving into an actual business here in Decentraland, metaverse consulting firm. So
And is that kind of right there, the origins of Beavers?
Oh yeah,
Right.
100%.
And
I
could
mean,
you
you find your,
small
it's
mastermind.
like anything. You find your tribe, you know.
Yeah, totally. And I guess we can transition. Could you tell us a little bit about Beavers? Maybe like kind of start off with like what is the vision and kind of what you guys do.
Uh, I can take from here. So our vision, initially was, you know, when we first started and started collaborating and together, was to create a kind of a collective minds of how do we improve Web3? How do we improve what our current platform that we call home, Decentraland? What do we like? How can we help somebody come in here, you know, wanting to do things, and us being there to assist them and help them and build them up and mentor them, and then get them involved and get them involved into our projects and just build them up, you know. We're always looking for like-minded individuals to come on board and contribute to our vision of what Web3 could potentially be, you know, with kind of like, you know, the whole, you know, logical business mindset with you know, basic ethical principles, you know.
Totally. And
Yeah.
and I
But then
mean,
also,
go ahead,
oh,
Mariam.
sorry. Yeah, and I was gonna add on. We also want to, you know, help bring in our network from our industries. So like we started a LinkedIn group together, and we were trying to, you know, show business professionals outside of the metaverse, like, hey, this is how you could, you know, take your skills that you have in Web 2 per se, and, you know, bring it into the metaverse. So like that was one of our other visions, is to truly, you know, bring in a collective mindset of people to, you know, further than, you know, express themselves and provide their services in the metaverse. So that's going to be like our other vision too, continuing to bring education, awareness of the metaverse to our, you know, our networks outside of here, which we're currently doing as well. But yeah, just as Golgai mentioned, we're just trying to expand the vision of the metaverse to professionals and get them excited and inspired to be here.
Yeah, I mean, look, there needs to be, I guess we're like the intermediary for transformation. So like when people enter a new space or new things, they always look for common grounds, common people, right? So that's kind of what we're trying to do, is the level that playing field, where it's not like, hey, I'm entering this fake world and this reminds me of like whatever their version of a metaverse may be, and we can kind of articulate and explain to them our what we established here for them. You know, they're not alone, right?
I mean, the space definitely needs those individuals to kind of look towards coming in, like big companies. You know, if you're there and you have the knowledge and the skill, like they'll most likely look your way. Here.
Yeah, I mean, relatability, right? Speaking the language, speaking the lingo, you know, and
Yeah, I love
just
what you
making
said about like
everyone feel welcome.
leveling, because
Go
like
ahead.
one thing they're gonna need is, and what I feel like we've always done best is like facilitating, and we're even like working with Meta Value. Like they're really like they're really hands on with the community now, but they had to take that, like, you know, that first handshake with, you know, starting as Twitter Spaces with the community or going to a community event, like, and that's really what these companies need. They need someone who can tell them, like, give them a playbook, and that's what we really want to work on, like being able to create these tools and have a playbook ready for when these companies come in and really they don't know how to blend in with everyone, because this is a younger crowd, or this might be an audience that they're not familiar with, and they just like communicate with individuals like us who have the experience. Like every single one of you in this room, you are an expert in the metaverse. You know, companies are going to pay for your knowledge, and just to understand how does this work, what do these people like, just so that they can create customized experiences for their their launch, their brand installations.
And that's going to be very, very important for in coming years when companies want to come into the metaverse. And I mean, going back to our previous conversation, you guys are not just going to be touching Decentraland. You guys are going to be a multi-metaverse brand. So I mean, definitely.
Yeah, we want to create that mastermind that started. I didn't mean to cut you off, but just saying, we want to create that mastermind that started in Decentraland. But yeah, we want to travel through the metaverse and just grow from each other, because we all bring our own unique skills that sharpens each other's own skills.
Definitely. So I have pulled up a screen share in the Discord and pulled up the Beaverse website.
Hey.
This shit's lit.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a little screenshot.
Let's go. We have
a special moment in time.
Could you give us a brief rundown of the About Us section?
Yeah, Goguy, if you want to run it down, Goguy actually was the one behind this entire dope website.
Damn, GG.
Yeah,
Hours.
Yeah, you can go, Mariana, if you like.
Yeah, no, essentially it just kind of tells us what our goal or what our mission is. So, yeah, when we started, but then also what our offerings could be, from event management to networking to just providing any services in the metaverse. But also shout out to Dingia for creating our build, so you'll see that model.
It's a Mr. D build this entire time.
Yes.
he's a goat.
Totally. And did he also do kind of all the SDK in it?
So he did the preliminary SDK, but then I've kind of taken over it since he's created it. So yes, I've been adding some things over the last few months. Broke the build a few times here and there. but of course, throughout the last few months, I've had help from Manimus helped with with a few things here and there. Just some community collaboration.
I helped assist rotating an image.
Oh my gosh.
It's it should be rotated two more degrees, maybe 5.
0.259.
Perfect.
Try that.
Oh my gosh, I don't even want to talk about that. Yeah, there's this tool that we're using, and it's good once you have it all set up, but to identify the initial coordinates of every single photo, it's just I don't even want to talk about it. But
hey, better you than me.
Yeah, I know.
So currently I'm looking at our metaverse consultant roadmap section. Is this a roadmap kind of overviewing what services you would offer to a client, or is this kind of a roadmap for yourself?
This is our company roadmap from 2022. We're gonna actually update that, but if you look at
we knocked out probably about everything.
We actually,
except
really
for our NFT project.
We
That's the only thing I would say we really didn't want to launch until it was we wanted to be perfectionists around that, just because we know how sensitive it is in this culture, in this space, and we didn't want to just launch anything. So we've been taking our time around that. But
the best learning lesson is to learn from others. So we are taking notes and watching other NFT projects and seeing what they did right and what they're not doing right. So
I mean, totally. And so what would be kind of or can you give us any alpha on roadmap 2.0? What might be on it?
I'll have to update that, but yeah, so essentially we would be focusing more on the education and onboarding of our mission. So last year, in the beginning of the roadmap, it was just more so getting set up, right? Setting up Discords, Twitter Spaces, building up our community. Took us a few months to get our build up and running, and then of course getting some events going. So now, and then I've done a few conferences as well on behalf of Beavers, on behalf of DCL in general. But now with 2023 here, now we feel like we have a good foundation in terms of the community. We have our LinkedIn community. So now we're trying to truly dive into the actual education and onboarding. So what that means is have more events at Beavers from a educational standpoint. From actually, I'm working with a few people, or been in talks with a few people from like some of the local universities here, but pretty much have some more education base, just like personal business development type courses. We want to have more corporate events as well, getting more corporations in here. So there's a few talks for that. And then I'm also working locally with my there's a Web3 committee that I'm a part of for my local city. So they want to have some metaverse mixers in the future. So that's not just Decentraland, but also like Sandbox and Spatial. So you guys can probably see that coming up too, where we'll host a little local mixer. So yeah, our goal is just pretty much just to really tap into our network, not just in the metaverse and Web3, but truly, outside of the metaverse as well. So I've been trying to work with locals to get them in here. But yeah, I think 2023, our unofficial motto would be around education, but as well as, receiving clients and helping them, get on board into Decentraland and whatnot.
Totally. And on the, going out and going to conferences, whenever you want to take over a conference, Mariana, let me know.
Sure, let's do it.
So that's very exciting news to hear, kind of that Beavers as well is taking the extra step to kind of onboard users from the physical world into our virtual world here, or at least showing them that it's safe and that we exist, because I think one of the biggest things about that makes people hesitant about Web3 is just, all they hear is like, oh, Seth Rogen got his monkey stolen, but the FBI got it back, so it's possible.
Yeah, and then scammers and rug pull NFTs.
It's sinful. Me and you sat at Genesis Plaza or Wondermine for I don't know how long, so it's like it's only right that we now sit in the real world for some time and bring those people into Genesis as well.
Yeah, bring them in and be like, this is Wondermines.
Yeah, I just feel like we gotta find more. We gotta create more systems that we can onboard people in, because once they're within the system, they can now follow and go through it willingly and want to learn more, rather than go through this huge open world, and just not know even where to start.
Exactly. They need
a playbook.
The playbook, or even like that finger that points towards that direction may help.
Yeah, exactly. I agree that someone who can just say this direction, they'll figure it out the rest.
I see. I have found the blog. I see you guys have a blog. I'll have to get back to that at some point. And Gold Guy, did you send me a link recently to kind of sign up for? Oh, here it is. Is this to subscribe for your newsletter, the Beavers newsletter?
Yep.
Right here. Oh, well.
Yeah, Mariana, if you wanted to touch on this is also something we wanted to focus more on this year.
Like
our podcast.
Yeah, so I've been wanting to do this newsletter for quite some time. So right now, literally like new alpha. But yeah, we're starting to collect email addresses for anyone who's interested in getting kind of like a metaverse scoop. So right now we're still again just kind of developing. We're working on the layout right now, and figuring out a content plan. But yeah, you can expect a Beaverse newsletter starting really shortly. Just because we started doing like the blogs and the website, but now we really want to kind of do like, just be like a one-stop, like a little, provide like a one-stop 5-second, place where people can just like read up on what we see in the metaverse, whether that's in Decentraland, what a quick event is, a quick tip. We want to do this more so to help our external users understand the metaverse, right? But also have it be a hybrid newsletter to help both people in Decentraland, but then have enough content for people that don't know Decentraland, to just kind of see it from a high level. So more to come on that, more so end of next month, I would say, just because of some finance stuff going on right now. But yeah, look forward to developing that and making the Beaverse report.
The Beaverse report, I like that. I like that.
I love it.
I have a video.
I'm glad you are expanding your horizon. Beaverse
Thank you.
report.
This year is all about getting uncomfortable. Getting comfortable being
And they do say, like, if you're comfortable, like, you're not growing. So being uncomfortable and being around different minded people and challenging each other and encouraging each other, but also calling out each other to say, hey, look, perhaps you should change. Perhaps, I should change. And, just pushing each other to their next level. Right. And I think that's where people kind of get sensitive here. It's like people, like, they don't want you to, like, there's certain people that don't want you to push yourself to make you better, right? And, obviously there's a time and place for everything, but us as to move forward as a strong community, we need to be uncomfortable, We need to constantly push each other and calling out the wrongdoers and saying, perhaps you need to have a different perspective, on taking this approach type thing.
Mm-hmm. Totally. So can I expect Beaverse to be a source of unbiased news, or the Beaverse report?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we'll probably
report.
We'll be authentic. We won't be silenced. We'll also create some system on the back end where people can submit anonymously, and we can just take leads. And we'll verify it.
I foresee a section, the Mew skit.
Love it.
Yeah.
I mean, you already have Mew Monday Night Live, kind of.
Yeah, right.
And, just so everyone should know, like, our vision and our approach, we don't think like, we obviously think about the now impact, but we do things when we say and do things, we think long term, right? Because we plan on being around here for a long time. So, and sometimes, our voices are getting drowned out. So we have to, be pretty direct and pretty straightforward with our approach, because if us as a community makes one wrong move, it affects everyone long term, right? We just can't, I agree about supporting each other and helping each other grow and sharpen each other's skills, but we need to be truthful with each other as well.
Totally. I mean, we can't just be an echo chamber, just agreeing with the next person and so on and so forth. If there is something that needs to be said, it needs, the truth must come out.
Facts.
That's
what's beautiful about the metaverse. Everyone's coming in from all parts of the world with their own truths, their own perspectives, their own experiences.
Again, people need to understand too. This is Web3. I mean, we're natural disruptors. So, if you see someone like act a certain way, I mean, it's because, again, we are in Web3. This is different.
Yep.
I'm not saying we should, disrespect, and I think you need to have pretty decent amount of evidence to really call someone what they're doing is unethical. So, but we're all here learning and growing with each other. And like I said, this is not just about Decentraland. This is a community. We're our community. We could take our experience and go to anywhere with, and help future communities evolve and develop.
Yeah, totally. I mean, as it stands at this very moment, at least, like when it comes to metaverse community, the world is looking at us. Like,
yeah, I mean, I always thought,
Right.
and I mentioned this before, I always thought like this is the biggest social experiment of our life, being played out here in a sandbox type of, digital format. So we're all personalities, all, religions, all, whoever wants to participate here will have a voice and will be heard and respected. So, but yeah, it's definitely interesting. Even when we touched a little bit about on the political standpoint from like people's political points of view here, and how, and I feel like some people just take what they've learned in IRL and kind of like and try to like bring that here, and just like,
yeah.
I think we should respect each other. And it's just like, but there again, that's Web 2, that's real life. You know what I mean? You got to be more open-minded and more accepted to people here, because this is a world platform. It's not a country platform.
Yep. Your mind has to be
True.
open enough that, like, you can't just take these ideologies and government structures and just the nasty stuff, the bad stuff that actually we're avoiding here in Web3, and like actually bring it here.
Yeah. People that go to school for political science then come here and try to implicate their theories. Like, you can't, like, I want you to participate, but don't try to push it on us,
Yep, totally. And Alpha, you wanted to say something?
I was really just gonna say we can't like assume that everyone understands from our point of view, because everyone's coming from like different parts of the world, speaking different languages, thinking different ways. We have to like you guys were saying, just be more open-minded and accepting of each other.
Yep.
Come as you are.
I love it. And so this brings me on to my next question, which I don't know, do you guys want to turn up the spice a little bit or kind of keep it casual?
A little bit of spice is always a little nice.
I hear
Man,
that's
we
how
keeping it on. I wear my heart on my sleeve, brother.
I hear that's how the Powder Puff Girls were formed.
I'm here for more support.
I'm here.
I didn't hear that. Where'd you hear that from?
So how do you feel about the current state of Decentraland, and like what are your thoughts on if there is an issue, like how can we improve it, whether if it's on the community side or leadership?
I don't think there's like any problem with Decentraland. I do think that people can be, I get like we were just saying earlier, like more authentic. Like people can definitely just the same problems that we're talking about in the Twitter and all that stuff. We gotta like bring it to the town hall and break it down and unpack it and strip it. And I feel like that's something that I don't know. We like finding a common vision that we can all get on the train for is something I'm not seeing in Decentraland that I thought would be like here from the get-go from my first day. And I think that's something we really need. We need people like setting that common vision that we can all get behind and get on the train for, because it's gonna be a roller coaster.
Yeah, most
Yeah,
definitely.
I feel like we all need to come up with a like Alpha's mentioned, a common vision. We need real leaders to step up here. We need real voices. We need people that don't, that say, all right, is this healthy for the greater good of Decentraland? or is this healthy just for me and my people I cherish as friends? You know what I mean? Like, there needs to be a line that we need to put in the sand and say, all right, everything else, it's Decentraland versus everyone, right? At the end of the day, if Decentraland's being attacked by outside forces, we all need to collectively come together and fight for Decentraland. But there needs to be real leadership to lead the charge, you know? This is kind of like I feel like this is a really critical moment of our community, and we have to make a choice what we want this community to be, not where the founding members or people that first got in the white paper envisioned it, right? But we all need to come collectively together and come up with that mission statement as a community.
Thank you.
Yeah, and from my perspective, the biggest issue that I've heard from outside of the Decentraland is accessibility. So there not being a way to enter via VR. I mean, technically you can, but it's, you know, in beta. But then also, like, you know, from like a mobile standpoint, iPad standpoint, you name it. Because I guess like a little background, lately I've been a part of this one Twitter space for like the last 3 weeks, where we always talk about the metaverse, Web3, you name it. And I talk about Decentraland like every single day. And literally, like, this main guy with like his 20 friends with a huge following in Web3, they're like, oh, we tried to enter the Decentraland, but my computer was literally burning after, so I had to hop off. Like, this is like a legit community of like followings of at least 2 million people, I kid you not. And they're saying themselves that they can't get into the Decentraland, and that's the only reason why they're not in it. So I think that needs to be like our main priority, is more people being able to access the Decentraland, kind of how they can access spatial and Mobeatz, because it's such a turnoff for a lot of people. We're missing a lot of great support right now.
You do bring up a very, very valid point. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe within the 2023 manifesto, it did say improve or optimize performance for even older hardware. So let's hope this comes sooner rather than later.
Yeah, let me know what's happened so I can bring back good news to bring in the fun people.
And what is this Twitter space that you like to join? Like maybe we can like roll up in there as the Decentraland squad. Show, you know, they may have 20, we'll come with 10, you know. But
no, that would actually be amazing. Yeah, so literally pretty much every single day at 12:30 Eastern. So it's called the Web3 Daily Buzz. Today it was at 4, so like there's some, you know, nuances in the different timings. But yeah, this guy had been hosting Twitter Spaces for like the last year. Took a break and then just started coming back maybe like middle or end of December. So I started just coming on board just randomly. I'd raise my hand a few times, joined as a speaker, and I would like bring in like the metaverse news. So like after like 3 shows, he like messaged me like, Mariana, you should come join our show every single day and be like the 90-second metaverse scoop segment. So that's what I've been doing. So like now what I do is like I bring in the scoop from Decentraland, you know, any related to Decentraland, so like, you know, about like the recent pump, some, you know, the latest activations.
I can see you already be like, mana coin at 72 cents today, 5% up from the previous trading day.
The weather at Decentraland.
Mariana's taking her show on the road.
It's like a quarter. Yeah, no, exactly. No, that's actually literally my goal. And like from this Twitter space, the last 3 weeks, I've been able to connect to this huge network of Web3 people. Literally today, Sinful, my friend who co-hosts that space, he literally was talking to the founder of Pudgy Penguins. Yesterday, he was with Chris from Nine Cat. Like, this guy has like some really good people, like really good connections, right? So it would be really cool to have some more people from the Decentraland join in the space and, you know, show some metaverse representation. But yeah, I guess even just like a advice for everyone. Like, get outside of like the Decentraland Twitter space bubble, go explore into the other crypto spaces, and share the good news.
Exactly.
And you do
Share the
not.
gospel.
Yeah, exactly, the metaverse gospel. Yeah, no, it's amazing, like, who, you know, like, you raise your hand for 1 second and all of a sudden, like, your life changes with the people that you meet, and I can attest to that happening to every connection that I've ever made in the metaverse. It's like literally one Twitter space, one Clubhouse chat, one, you know, chat in DCL, one Discord message, one whatever. It's truly amazing how you can network, and people that you meet can, you know, be your best friend and next, you know, venture partner or whatever you want to call it. So
Yep.
yeah.
I mean, totally. I have made some pretty strong friendships myself through like just you know, requesting to come up to speak on a Twitter space, you know, having the courage to press that request button, and then like, you know, you're like, as soon as they like accept it, you're like, shit, I want to go back, but
I know that.
but once you take that step, I mean, it's amazing what the possibilities are. You never know who's sitting in that speaker panel that you know, might just message you later and it's like, hey, you said some pretty cool shit, tell me more.
Exactly.
Or even vice versa. Like, for example, I've met a bunch of very talented musicians on Twitter Spaces, and you know, I just see that as like a potential, like a future potential metaverse performer.
I mean, not just Twitter Spaces, Clubhouse, man. You and me were sitting here chilling with 21 Savage for a couple days.
21. Bro, those Twitter spaces go hard. I mean, those Clubhouse spaces, they go hard.
They do.
Dude.
They get passionate.
Vibe for sure.
Oh, dude, I remember one of the first one we walked into. They were arguing on whether Virginia was the South or not, and they were like going in, like, we're like, I don't know, maybe some friendships.
Me and you just sitting there like like that kid in line holding the cup. We're just like
Yep, and that also like does bring me to the Clubhouse space. Are they called spaces in Clubhouse?
They're called rooms.
Okay,
yeah.
Rooms. The Clubhouse room that Beavers had hosted that one time, and you know, it was around the time where like there's a little bit of that controversy with the name Metaverse Music Festival. And
oh yeah,
I had remembered that this individual named Kane Mayfield like came on and started like just going in hard, like, and then Alpha kind of like sat him down a little bit and was like, hey, like you claim to be like for the community and by the community, and you know, like, but you're over here trying to rip communities apart, like, and then that kind of like made his tone just like, you know, soften up a little bit. He told you he wasn't a very good community.
That whole night did like a 180, right? I know he came in so aggressive, like, y'all know what y'all did, and then after that he was like, but you kind of hear me, right? Like, you hear where I'm coming from.
And we totally
like, we all
did.
like,
Hey,
like,
that was a defiant moment. That's Decentraland community versus everyone when we're all attacked.
Yeah, we were being
Right.
attacked.
Like, we
there.
all have each other's backs. It don't
Right.
matter about the internal fighting, but when our community's getting attacked,
we're on the same team.
like, we're soldiers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in all honesty, that we do hear him, and we, in all honesty, like, my personal opinion, we agree. Maybe perhaps should the next time advertise DCL Metaverse Music Festival. But so
I would
Say
think
that again.
for
Say that again? My bad.
I would think from
Like
an SEO. I was thinking from an SEO aspect, Decentraland Music Festival would be they would put their name behind, don't you think?
I would think so too, logically, of course, but I don't know.
Also, does Decentraland Foundation have SEO experts on staff and real content creators that know what they're doing?
Listen, we could get spicy. We're going down that road.
I mean, everybody
Hey, man.
knows that Decentraland.
Hey man, that was a mistake. That was a mistake that Decentraland put under the rug, and we're just
Yep. Well, I mean, I'm always willing to actually, you know, uncover that rug and be like, look at this, Decentraland. You shit on the floor. Now pick it up.
Oh, dude, well then let's talk about it, dude. I feel like even in the thread, Esteban says, he goes, oh well, like the foundation's working on it and they fixed it. They're moving to this hashtag. We never used that new hashtag.
Unfortunately, it was advertised like 2 days before. Like it was like.
That's true. And the perspective to us was that they were just looking for attention. But to me, when I listened to them in that clubhouse, I actually had sympathy and like more compassion for them when I heard it coming from Natalia. And she was explaining like, no, imagine if you were the small brand, or we never expected this coming from Decentraland. We've done so much in Decentraland. That really like broke my heart when she was like explaining like, we've been so supportive of Decentraland. Everything we've done, we've been inspired by Decentraland. And to think that this move would come by, I was just like, well,
Yep.
that was what made me really like just have to listen to her and not think like Decentraland first and not like be negative against her. I just really had to hear her out, like really listen to where she's coming from.
Yep.
As we all should.
I even gave her the idea to piggyback off of like that name of their name and doing another music festival 3 weeks prior before Decentraland had theirs, and kind of just like a chain reaction, but she didn't want to do that.
No. I mean, in all honesty, after our music festival, I was looking for like theirs, but I never really like caught any.
Me either, friend. Yeah, I was doing the same thing. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go support theirs. And then, bro, I was like on their Twitter. I didn't know what to.
I didn't know where to go or where to look, or there was no advertising.
I gotta follow up with her. I see her still doing Clubhouse, but she probably. I'm gonna ask her about that event. Like, did it ever go on? Like, did you guys ever end up doing it? Like, I wonder.
Yeah.
Because they were pretty angry, bro. I don't even.
They were mad at us. They're like, fuck you guys for being on Decentraland. We're like, the fuck did we do?
She was like, what, so y'all gonna go, right? And I was like, wait, so I can't go? Like, no, I'm going. Like, what do you mean? I'm going. What do you mean? I got friends there that are gonna be on, like, what do you say? I'm going, bro. They're like, wow.
Oh man, that was funny.
It was pretty funny. But to be honest, at the end of the day, we became friends with them. And we just agree to disagree. Like, we agree that was a bad mistake, but at the same time, there's really nothing much we personally can do. We're just, freaking leaders in this world. We're not like the actual foundation or anyone who's running the fest.
We suggested we're gonna create a poll, to get it removed,
Yeah.
But they didn't want to go that route, so whatever. But I told them, I was like, this is how we do business in Decentraland. We create grants. We create polls
we were gonna do the
as
proposal.
a community. Yeah. So this is how we deal with democracy and disputes, right? This is as a community. So
I think, Go Guy, I think you're right on that, because they were kind of confused how we were helping them find a solution rather than like taking offense from the way they were coming at us. They were like, what the hell? Like, these guys aren't offended. They're over here trying to help us. This is not what we came here to do. We came here to like shoot you guys. And then we just like hugged them. We was like, it's okay. We all part of the multiverse.
He literally used that term.
Decentraland's a bunch of assholes. Let us help you. And help them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like you said, Alpha, that whole situation took like a total turn. Like, they were going one way and all of a sudden they found themselves going back out the other way. Or gone back out where they came from. But
with a lot more respect for us too.
I mean, I have lots of respect, even like despite all the stuff that was said, and them coming at us that hard. Like, I tune into Kane Mayfield's Twitter Spaces. I have learned a lot from Kane Mayfield, and kind of like in a way, like he's kind of helped me kind of see in a way of like in the perspective of like how musicians and artists like get really like they get taken advantage of by the music industry and like, you know, all these big labels and stuff. So like Kane is super anti-label, so probably when he saw like, you know, whatever was going on with the Central Land, like he had to fight for it because that's his fight.
Yeah, you're right, because I feel like in his perspective he saw big bank take little bank, like he was just, that's all he was seeing.
That's all he saw.
Hey, I'm not going to get too far in depth with it, but Tory Lanez wasn't lying about how the music game goes, especially they lock you up for 5 albums and they only let you do 2 and you're benched after that, you know what I mean?
Yep, exactly.
Web3 is going to free so many artists because Web3 is going to now allow art. I mean, look at the technology already offered in Web2, where artists can now just create their own audience and skip out the label, because that's what the label was really going to do. The label was going to come in with the bank and really act as a bank, offer the loan, the advance, and then give you this lifestyle of like, oh, we already have the network, so we can cut the learning curve for you. You know, and I feel like as an independent artist now being able to use technologies in Web3, imagine having like an AI creating your cover art, and you know you're working on your own metaverse parcel to create your own concert. Like, dude, people, it's the possibilities are endless for what an independent artist could do for themselves within the metaverse, rather than taking the traditional route of signing, you know, kind of your masters over to a label and asking for like their help in your career.
Yep. And in one of those Twitter space, I did get the pleasure of watching Kane tear apart this poor individual. He was coming in like, you know, trying to build his own Web3 record label, and Kane was like, I hear what you're saying, I hear what, you know, you're telling me, that, you know, record labels supply a team and like for the musicians so that they can focus on their work, but like, what's stopping me from getting my homie to doing that work for me, and then we both eat? Yeah,
right, and that's an open-minded perspective. Most people aren't thinking that way. They're thinking about like themselves first.
Mm-hmm.
Not thinking about like both. They're thinking about like and or, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah,
you can't really
you're thinking both.
You can't really come up being solo, man. You got to have your team. You got to build around your team, and you got to, you know, each one of your comrades, you know, you got to support and build up. You know, I hear it's like, hey, we support you. Really? Like, okay, well, how can we collectively come together and build those momentum and support each other? You know, this false sense of support, and people see right through it. And that's the beautiful thing about Web3 too.
Yep.
It's kind of like really crystal clear what people's motives are here, because you take out the emotion, you take out the personality in a way where you're just seeing their actions, you know. And we see this all the time when people promote new projects and say they're about the community, but really they're not. Like, or what are they doing to be about the community? You know what I mean? Yep.
I mean, totally. And I mean, as we go along, Alpha had mentioned earlier, he's like, I'm a bit seasoned now. I believe that comes with the seasoning.
Oh my gosh.
I believe that comes with the seasoning. Oh.
We've been through a lot of battles,
dude.
Learn from us. Just learn.
And to keep it 100 with everyone. To keep it 100 with everyone, we did this for the community. Like, it people like, oh, they're just, you know, they're so negative. They're disrupting the community. No, we're doing this for a positive change, because if it goes down certain rabbit holes, then toxicity sets in, and then we have to deal with those wounds. So our hearts for Decentraland. That's all I want to say.
No, totally. I mean, and it shows through your actions. Going back to what you were like, you know, your through your actions, that's how people see like what you're really about. And in all honesty, like
Hey,
all
and
three of you have been here.
Don't get fooled by my zingers. I got
no, but right
I'm
what
a
you just said
wordsmith.
there.
I could lay down some words, but yeah, just don't get fooled by my zingers.
Can you point me towards the closest Discord where I can find these words? No, I'm kidding. Don't answer that.
you know.
But yo, Sin, right where you were saying, like, we're still here, and that's where I just kind of wanted to say, like, quick, like, shout out to every single one of you that's still here. I know, like, official Q man, he made a tweet, and like Father Finn, he was just talking about in the chat real quick, like, just don't ever give up. Like, one of the things I live by is pray you never quit. Like, pray you never quit. Because it's moments like this where we're closer than ever than we realize. We're 3 feet from gold. We're just going through like that season of like, we're just going through that season before the bull hits, and I think if we just hold on strong, just really hold on to each other, realize that we are each other's crutches, that's what community is. So like, shout out to you, official Q man. I know that was probably a hard tweet to write, but dude, just know we all got you, bro. Like, we're all going through it. Even myself, I've taken a pivot since, like, a lot of people probably haven't seen me as consistently at these parties, but that's because I'm just more in the shadows, just working on other things. This year I'm really trying to skill up focusing on
I just gave Cube Man a hug for you.
Yeah, shout out to you, man. Sending love to you, my man, and anyone else who's feeling like that. Like, shout out to Frank. I love that guy. I know we've all had our own nights where we like, is this really even worth it? And I just want to let you know, like, yes, the ROI, it's not. All I want you to know is, if you're willing to do more than you're getting paid for now, one day you're going to be getting paid for more than you're doing. And we just have to keep that mindset that we're here creating a culture, so doing something that's really never been done. And we have to lead with that mindset of pioneers. Even if the profit's not there, it will be. We just really got to plant the seeds so we can live with these trees. Even if we don't enjoy the shadow fully, like, it might take some time, but we just really have to embrace the moment, really just be present, because the memories, like, now that I think about it, like those Rooston parties, it really hits now looking back. But this party right here is really going to hit me in like 6 months too. So I really just have to learn to be present for it all, because the time flies being here in the metaverse with you guys.
It really does. Like, just the move from 2022 to 2023, like, that whole year has been like, I don't even have words in my vocabulary to like kind of
right.
Like, we've experienced in a way so much, and it's so weird how, like, metaverse, we're moving like 10 times faster in the metaverse. And I don't know, this, I guess, question to you guys, do you guys kind of feel like the past year has moved quicker than every other year? I blame the metaverse.
Yeah, I mean, simple. I know it hit you when you started like scheduling your events, because bro, we had our one spaces, and I felt like that Thursday came quicker than any other day. It's like, how's it already Thursday night spaces? So it's like, yeah, no, I feel you. The metaverse, you're just like every night. Well, in the beginning, I felt we were kind of coasting, right? But then as the bear market hit, it's sped up, like time sped up even more, because now things started to actually get busier. People were actually creating, working on different things, like activating, and now look at us, like every night there's really something to do. Even if people think that we're in this bear or we're just entering this new bull, but like they think that this like market is untapped and it's not busy right now, but in reality there's already a culture being built. There's already a schedule in place in multiple worlds. It's not just Essentialland. I know High CC, I'd be looking at her schedule, and dude, Spatial's busy. So I know these other worlds are busy too.
Yep. And in all honesty, I would also like to kind of bring up like the awareness of like even if we're not seeing someone that's new, that's like a vanilla avatar, always take the time to kind of like introduce yourself to a new name that you haven't seen before, but like that's dripped out or like has some wearables, because like you never know like how much they know about the Decentraland. Quick example is the other day I was at Wonder Mines and I had like met a new user and I was like, you know, just sending him some wearables, and then individual types and he says, oh, it's actually kind of nice to see that people are actually talking and they're and like using the Decentraland, like it's usually quiet here. And I'm like, no, like, dude, there's a community, you know, like, and then like since then I've been like just sending him like events that we host and stuff. I believe he may have showed up to Mobeatz last night by Stoney, and he might even be here.
It's super
tonight.
interesting what you're saying though. It's kind of like you don't know the community exists until one of them exists to you. It's like super interesting. It's like when one of them like touches you, you get like exposed to the right. Like everyone else begins to exist to you. You're like, oh, you guys were here this whole time. I was at Wonder Mine thinking that was it. Like,
exactly.
like, dude, I felt the same in like back in November, because there was definitely like, you know, communities before us, but they didn't really like, they were doing their own thing among the world. It's like you didn't really like tap in until you've tapped in.
Yeah, exactly. But it's hard to explain, because like there's always been like, you know, these small communities in Decentraland, but they're like very tight knit, because it would be like either like coding community or NFT project.
yeah, certain niches. Yeah.
Yes, niches, that's the word. And so like it's actually nice to actually start seeing like, you know, the Decentraland community members. Like we didn't have that coming into 2022. We didn't have like people that said, I'm a Decentraland community member. They would say, oh, I own a Penguin Fight Club NFT and I use Decentraland, or, you know, but like,
yeah,
Decentraland was never used.
That's actually a crazy point. We did look at Decentraland as like just the world brought, like showing our NFTs. We didn't look at it as like our world that we, like, you know, we're building or being a part of, or like actively like participating in. I didn't look at it like that at all when I first watched it. And I was just like, oh, this is where they show NFTs. Like that's really all I looked at it.
That's so true, because like all I ever knew when I started was the Rich Homie Gang, nothing else.
Right.
Like but it makes a good point. Like now we actually like see the Decentraland community as like a collective, not like, oh, that's that group, that's that group. So
like you can be part of other communities that, you know, are on Decentraland, but like,
right.
you know, at the same time you can also be a Decentraland, like an overall community member. Man, that's beautiful. I have a tear running down my eye.
Beautifully said.
That's love. No, for real. It's like Decentraland is the umbrella, of course, but when you really look into it, there's so many like beautiful people who like have started amazing projects that have now created their own brands that you can't even like count now. But like, yeah, Decentraland is a home for a lot of people who have like started like amazing projects on Web3.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, and it's only gonna keep multiplying from here.
Yeah, that's why I call it that's why I look at it like a great launch pad as well, because you really don't know what you're gonna like want to go chase after you enter Decentraland. Most people like really underestimate what Decentraland can do for you. Once you enter here, you're gonna like enter a world where there's so many bright minds that are just gonna share a little bit what they know of you, and just a little bit from each person is gonna make you like so curious to just want to go out there and build something of your own.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So
I mean, me personally, I was utterly amazed with the collective minds here, and it got me hooked. And I've been here for what, a year and a month now, so and it's like not too many communities or projects could keep my attention that long. So, and every day was like always something to, you know, always learn something new. Just
The GG Rug?
Yeah. He's right.
No,
Thank you, Rug.
he was saying some good shit.
I know.
now I'm back. My bad.
We bet.
No, what I'm just gonna finish my thought. So, what I'm saying is, you never know who you can meet here, and just one tad bit of information could be life changing. You know.
Totally.
Agreed.
So I see that we've been on for, I mean, the show has been going for about like 75 minutes. It's almost like 12 here.
Sorry. What's your longest show, Sin?
My longest show? I don't think you want to. It would be by Dr. Drip and Mr. J,
Dr.
Mr.
Drip.
W.
Let's go. Hey, Dr. Drip's here as well. Shout out to him.
Big shout out.
How long did that go? For like 2 hours?
Oh
3 hours?
no, I believe that may have been for like 3.5 hours.
Oh, they had y'all till midnight plus? That must have been interesting. I need to make sure. I was telling myself I need to make sure I'm like here at the Dollhouse at least. If I'm gonna pop into Decentraland, I need to come into the Dollhouse nights. I've been just like ice poker, in and out working.
I mean, I see you right next to Mariana. Mini moshing.
Yo, anyone knows?
Yes.
Yo, Sinful taught me how to do this. How to lock into this.
Bro.
I think.
Wait, what are you doing?
I know PB's here, but we can still do this. So.
Yeah, mini moshing. Like, so like if you do like a pixie emote and become tiny and then do like the moshing dance, it starts like making like a mini version of you dancing.
Yeah, just combos for some
Yes.
reason.
I see that. So
There's other emotes that combo too.
one doesn't override the other?
Not.
No, it just like combos. I don't know why.
It,
cool.
it has to be a glitch, and I bet you like someone in the Decentraland Foundation is getting yelled over it. But we like it, so don't take it.
PB, we like it.
Yeah,
we
I
it.
like the backpack glitch, and they took that away.
No.
No.
How did I know that conversation was coming after you? PB.
I'm just
I used to
saying.
love
It
seeing
was just
PB at
it
parties
was a
when that
low-key
backpack
secret.
glitch. It was
Then the word spreaded, and now they fixed it.
No, they fixed it.
no,
Sadness.
PB
It's
hates
kinda-
you for this one, bro. I used to be in his back with a jetpack.
Yo, I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm not buying these L1s. Why should I buy these L1s when I can
No,
just glitch
stop.
their backpack?
Go guys taking
Man,
his
I take-
pictures with L1.
Yeah, and then I was taking pictures on Twitter, you know, and saying, hey, you know, I was flexing with their shit. So
I remember I did that to Dogman. Yo, Dogman he was like laughing but a little pissed. He's like, bro, like, why are you doing that? Why are you in my backpack, bro? Like, stop.
I was like, yeah, I bought that mech. You don't see the picture?
Yeah, he made this like dope like so Dogman was like an artist, like he made this clown art piece that he made a mythic. I was like, yo, you got one? He's like, yeah, I only got like one left. I was like, yeah, I got one on too. He's like, how? I was like, well, I just took a picture. We both got it. I sent it to him. He's like, yo, what are you doing in my backpack? Yo, but PB got rid of that quick. But dude, that was so fun. We had a ride.
Yeah, you can't be taking his jetpack. Oh.
PB's like, oh no,
Oh,
there's more than one person wearing this Wonderbot.
the only thing you guys would want out of my backpack is probably like Jamie the jellyfish.
Nah, bro, you got that shark head. That shark head goes crazy.
Oh yes, I got, of course, Rustan Sharkhead.
That shark head is fire.
That
I was watching the Rustan video today, the one he posted to the DCL film, and like I noticed you right away, like 'cause you had like your shark in the video.
just,
I was like, dude, this video's fire.
I'm gonna have to check it out. Where did you see it?
It was on Twitter. I'll send it to you.
Okay, cool.
I'll put it in our chat.
Are there any nipples in that video? Maybe we can all see it together.
No, you won't get banned.
Okay. Okay, so I figured out the trick. It's exposed nipple. You can't, like, even as a dude, like if I were to like just show my little nipple, like it would be like banned for life type of shit.
Oh.
Nah, just kidding. Just
So any gender? Oh, okay.
yeah, you can't discriminate. Shit. you,
can't.
you can't have doggy nipples or let's not go down that.
Let's not go down. Alright, hold on.
What's wrong with you?
Alright, I just sent this in. It's right there. Bro.
Let's see. Like, so help
I love
me
how he's
God,
like-
son, if there's a nipple.
It sounds like 30 seconds. In what world did I give you a 30-second video? Not the central one. Do not ever put me in the box. New sign. You cannot have naked avatars. Oh, really? Hey.
I mean, technically, I got away with, drawing a naked woman on a hoodie. They approved it.
Would you like to test to see if I'll get Twitch banned? Man, Rustan's been everywhere.
That was such a fire video. Wow.
Bruh, Rustan always
That
does
was
it.
that was like a Decentraland movie.
Totally. So, I guess,
Vote for that one.
since we've hit, like, almost our 2-hour mark? Oh, wait, no. I'm not sure. I don't even know.
Yeah, we could
time
definitely start
anything.
winding now.
Yes, for sure. So, before we wind down, I have one last question for all three of you. And it, individually, what are some projects to look out for that you guys are working on? Let's go with Alpha, Gold Guy, and then Mariana.
Okay, so personally, I'm like I was saying earlier, this year is mainly about me like prioritizing like what's important and like I'm skilling up. So I'm definitely gonna be creating a lot of more like Blender. I'm gonna be diving into Blender this year, creating more projects myself. One thing that I've been in now is working with like Bio. We've been creating this gaming network, jumping into 5M. We've been in there with like Scrap, Ingester, Bitfiend, Bio, Dr. DCL. We're just in there like in these servers like playing, and that's just one world we're in. And then with Bio, I'm also creating like my Phygital now. I'm gonna start creating my my hoodie. He created my actual hoodie into real life piece now, and I'm gonna actually start making some real life items out of my wearables. So that's why I really want to dive into Blender, so I can just start putting my ideas into like these NFTs first, and then just have him recreate those in real life, and I just have like this Shopify on the side.
Nice, Alpha. I'm looking forward to seeing these fidgetals coming out. Is
Yes, I want to
it?
give you guys my straight out of Essential hoodies.
Yeah,
That you guys all deserve one.
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask if that was gonna be a physical item, and looks like we are gonna get it. Yes.
It's on its way. Yeah, we're working on that this year for sure.
Thank you, Alpha, and let's pass it on over to Gold Guy.
I'm gonna be working primarily on the behind the scenes for the next 6 months due to my workload, and in the financial space, tax time is very crucial. So, but I'm gonna be hyper focusing on automation and building up our Web 2 presence and building up our, what we could, present to people looking or companies looking to enter the space we all love. So that's going to be my my next 6 month focus.
Let's go. Thank you, Gold Guy. And then, of course, Mariana, what will you be working on? Like, any projects that we need to keep an eye out for?
Yeah, so we had mentioned earlier the newsletter, so I'll be building that up with the teams shortly. But then also, again, I'm actually working on that IRL involvement of getting people into the metaverse, so that's probably that's gonna be one of my main focuses toward like the second half of the year, or like starting in June. Organizing some more, or being more involved in some like IRL Web3 involvement. But then the newsletter, we also want to start a podcast, so Beaver's podcast when.
And are you saying we're going to be working closely? Oh, great.
I'm telling you, yeah, you and I you're going to pick up the phone and record with me.
And if what platform are you guys thinking about?
So we have a Podbean account, so probably like Spotify.
Ooh, you're gonna be like Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be on all different platforms, and we're gonna upload and do SEO and keyword analysis for each one of them. So we're gonna do a lot of trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And oh, go ahead.
And then I was gonna say, and eventually learn the SDK, or learning more of the SDK 7.
I will not be learning SDK.
I definitely think I'm going to be, because I want to jump world to world, and that's like basic knowledge I'm gonna need if I want to change.
I'm gonna leverage my soft skills and delegate that task.
Yeah. One thing I do best is building a team, so that I'll be doing that as well.
I'm gonna articulate the vision. They could do the hard skill stuff.
You don't want to help me find the bugs in Beaver's HQ?
No, use OpenAI for that. Don't use
the reason why I want to learn it is because Sinful said this in the spaces we were in, and I just feel like when you're communicating with someone, if you have that type of knowledge or that little bit of experience, you can be able to walk them through a theory of what they're able to do themselves, rather than just like speaking from theory.
Yep. Rather than just
able
being
to walk them like through some problems that they will face as well, instead of just saying, hey, well, you're gonna do this, and it's all gonna be like roses.
Yeah. We find ourselves speaking like that many times when we're like, okay, well, we don't have this. Let's have this.
When I like, for me personally, when I articulate my idea to programmers, because programmers, they have there's a whole other mind state when it comes to programmers, but I like to articulate it with flowcharts and have like a Q&A if it's possible for functionality, right? So that's how I articulate my vision to the other side, programmer guys, and I don't have a problem. I other than maybe the terminology aspect to it, but as soon as if you're a visionary and you're an idea type of guy, like I highly recommend a flowchart and having like a Q&A if it's possible, if and using like visual, right, over just kind of telling them what you would like for them to do, right?
Well, that thank you. That might actually help me speak with coders. At least have a general outline of like what I should be thinking whenever like just word vomiting a thought out to them.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's the only reason why I feel like I wanted to swim in that world. Like I was like, I just want to see how they think, and I'll be able to like quickly learn like how to like convey my ideas better. But I do like what Gold Guy's saying. It's better to kind of just use the tools and be like more resourceful and just use like flowcharts and bring it visually to them and like show them a blueprint and then allow the architect to like really build it for you, rather than you just trying to say, well, I want the windows in there and then I want it like this.
What
Yeah.
if we have a game?
Code doesn't permit the windows from being in there, Alpha. You got to follow code.
Code is law, but I'm talking about like it's like speaking to an architect or speaking to a developer.
Right.
They're
I know.
different
Yeah.
mindsets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying like each person has a different mindset. If you want to speak to them or have them like convey ideas to them, you kind of have to understand them or understand how they speak.
Totally.
And that's one thing we're in Web3. It's like it's not gender conscious. It's not status conscious. It's like we're all coming from different parts of the world, and one thing we have to be able to do is understand each other if we want to create anything together.
Exactly, Alpha. Thank you. And yeah, I guess it's a good time to wind down. Any final thoughts, Gold Guy, before we close out?
Keep being the best version of yourself. Keep pushing yourself forward, and I'll see everyone on the flip side.
We'll see you on the flip side as well. How about you, Alpha?
Just like I'll say a little earlier, I just hope everyone pray you never quit, like believe in yourselves, have faith in each other. I'm looking forward to this year. We're all going through our tough times. One thing I want to share with you guys is if we were to all leave our problems in the middle and walk away for a second, we would come back to our problems gone, and we would wish that we had them back because of what was left behind. So we just have to kind of just always take that into consideration, that everyone's going through it and they might be going through something way worse than you. So just keep showing up, keep believing in you. That's all you really have to do. It's 90% of the job is just showing up.
Hey, thank you, Alpha. And man, I love listening to you, man. you are one of these days, or I mean even now to this day, you probably to some community members, you are that visionary. You are the thought provoker.
I appreciate that, son. And just seeing you grow, man, I want to send it right back at you, bro. We've come a long way from just being kids at Wondermind. We come a long way, bro. And I'm proud of you, man. You've inspired a lot of people in this space as well.
Back at you.
I commend you, bro.
And Mariana, any final thoughts?
Sure. Yeah, I'll end it with saying your net worth. Your network is your net worth. Meaning, make everyone that you meet and come across, whether that's in Decentraland, in person, they'll be, you never know who, how much value they'll add to your skill sets. You never know who the next person will enter into the metaverse from your connections. So definitely don't be scared to network, whether that's within Decentraland, on Twitter Spaces, on the streets telling people about Decentraland. But yeah, there's so many people that you could bring value to, them teaching you something, vice versa. So yeah, continue networking and be engaged in different platforms to find more Web3 people to come into Decentraland.
I'm so happy you said that. Your network is your net worth.
Yes.
That is something that early on in Decentraland was kind of said to me by a very good friend of mine, Artreyu. And that has been one of those things that has stuck with me all this whole time. And totally, you got it. It's not about the monetary aspect of what you can get now in your pocket. It's about the people, the connections, the community you build, and that will drive you forward.
Exactly.
Well, that was a very, very good note to end on. Thank you, Beavers, for joining us tonight. I had an amazing time, just chatting it up with you guys.
Thank you for having us in.
Yeah,
I really appreciate your
likewise.
time.
All right, and so to everyone at Dollhouse, thank you so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate all the love and support. Thank you, everyone, for coming out and showing your Mews out. There are many, many people, many Mews have been seen today, and I really appreciate all the love. Thank you, guys. Just couple shout outs for my sponsors up at the top. Just gotta give a big shout out to Dr. Drip, Songbird Collective, Voxboard, Meta One Designs, and of course Baby Dolls. We will see you here next week at Dollhouse for Mew Monday, of course, and keep an eye out for the community building Twitter space on Wednesday. And now that let me bring Mariana back in here. Mariana, do you have... Is there a Twitter space? Is there a Twitter space on Tuesdays that you host by any chance?
Oh, the Web3 Daily Buzz.
Ah.
Yeah, they have them on Tuesdays, but nothing that I host on Tuesdays. Not that I know of.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mariana. Well,
yeah, you're welcome. I was gonna say, me and Masha are gonna be hosting a Twitter space probably like in 2 weeks or so, but TBD on that.
Nice. I like that I've been seeing Masha more active. I've been kind of trying to push her to take over Tuesdays, like Masha Tuesdays.
Right. No, she's amazing. She has a really good voice, and she's like a kind of like a thought provoker as well, and yeah.
I'm gonna have to have more conversations with Masha. Thank you, Mariana. And yeah, everyone, just stick by, and we'll get some music to you here shortly.
choice. Yeah. Roll up all my problems in these rebel papers. Dropping out of school, smartest shit that I did. My mama calling, boy, you need your education. Look me in my eyes, she can tell I'm faded. Sipping cause of wine while my records playing. Breaking down sativa, bumping out of wild. Locked up in my room, dodging expectations. Yeah. And Jesus Christ watching me. He probably sipping Hennessy on ice. Top it twice, neon lights flashing on the pearly gates. Haven't got a couple shows tonight. Finna wait in line for a chance to see Prince. Hoping on a second chance at life, just in case the one I'm living in ever do me right. And this high completely caught me by surprise. Doubled up on edibles on summer nights. Leather seats for summer weather. When the sun is out, I think I love you better. Pink skies twisted up with the blues. Can't make my eyes stop looking at you. I think I'm drunk enough. Ooh, I think I'm falling in love. What you smoking on? Ooh, I need a hit of that drug. Pink skies twisted up with the blues. Drunk enough. Ooh, I think I'm falling in love. What you smoking on? Ooh, I need a hit of that drug.
I've been so long, so long. Oh, oh, oh. Hey. 'Cause I've been so long, so long. Oh, oh, oh. Hey. Father, forgive me for you know that I'm always sinning. I take no one just body in me like a fucking nonsense. Excuse my language, that's a hang up on how shitty I've been feeling. I'm sorry, I feel no attraction, and now that it's been a bit. 'Cause I've been so